Darling gamer babies, we're back reviewing all the cards in Phyrexia. All will be one with precision, accuracy, and most importantly, charisma that is susceptible to bribery. We just got done with white and blue, and we're about to do black, but I wanted to share two little bits of info for you. Bit of info one, the next episode of What the Deck will be on the 13th, me versus Nox, the day before Valentine's Day. If you'd like to submit a deck, the new topic is tokens versus counters. Not counter spell, but things like counters that can be proliferated. One of the new themes in Phyrexia, all will be one. If you'd be interested in submitting a deck for What the Deck, feel free to go to our Discord, discord.gg/day9tv, and you'll see a deck submissions channel. All the extra instructions and suggestions are there to submit a deck focused on building up lots of tokens versus decks that are focused on building up lots of counters. And there it is. Second little bit of news, not this Friday, because it's already Friday, but next Friday, I'm going to be doing a review of some of the games that were produced in the Global Game Jam that has been ongoing. And as you know, I love doing the reviews for things like your DK30 projects, which are going to be coming up in a little bit. I love doing DK30 project reviews. I love seeing what people can come up with in an incredibly short amount of time. So we're going to showcase some of that creativity and have some fun. So that's going to be Friday at 1. So just keep watching me, and there you go. Now, let's talk about what happens when a to-go box is evil and alive. It's an ambulatory edifice. 2 and a black. When ambulatory edifice enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. When you do, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. This is the most fine limited card ever. It's fine. It's fine. So, it's nothing to get excited about. All right, just make sure you throw out your to-go box. All right. Annihilating Glare, 1 black. As an additional cost to cast, pay 4 or sack an artifact or creature. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. I think cards like this are way better than I ever want to give them credit for. Like way better. Like the fact that you can pay 1 to sack something that often in constructed you want sacked is incredible. In terms of limited, I don't really know what the rest of the black cards are because this is the most that I have seen of it. But I can imagine sacking some mites to blow some things up, having some mite generators. And even if you don't, it's just 5 to blow something up, which is expensive. But, you know, I love my removal spells. Anoint with Affliction. Oh, this is what people say before they leave a comment on YouTube. 1 and a black, exile target creature if it has mana value 3 or less. Damn. Exile that creature instead if its controller has 3 or more poison counters. Oh my god, Despy. Despy, this card is crazy. Oh my god. This is so good. A 2 mana exile? Get out of here. At common, 55 out of 5. 500,000 out of 5. Oh my god, this is insane. This is so good. 2 mana removal spells are just important things to run many of. It also has exile. Oh, it's so good. And then you can poison someone up and make this a generic. I mean, really, just this text with this cost is just stunning to me. And in limited, I think it's going to be even stronger. And it's common. Jesus, I'm going to be drafting nothing but black in this set. Oh my god. Archfiend of the Ross. 2 and a pair of blacks. Let's see what Ross does. Flying. Archfiend Ross enters the battlefield with so much oil on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove oil from Dross. And then if it has no oil on it, you lose the game. Oh, what? Oh my god. All right, this guy looks a little bit moon presency, you know what I mean? Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its controller loses 2 life. What the fuck? Oh my god. I actually think this card is insanely good. This card is insanely good. It is a 6/6 for 4. You could be an aggro black list and start playing the Archfiend of Dross and just kill your opponent before you ever pull all the oil off it. I don't even need to worry about that. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, this thing is ridiculously, ridiculously good. So if there's some sort of anti-proliferation or some sort of counter removal or, that sort of thing, or prison effect, this is going to be very funny to do that. But dude, this is just a 5 in limited, 5 in constructed. It's or in constructed. Yeah, it actually might be a good finisher in a sort of mono black style list. Bilious Skull Dweller. All right. This is what my brain does when I'm lying down and trying to go to sleep. Remember 4th grade, how embarrassing that was. 1 black for a 1/1 Death Toucher with Toxic 1. Now this is what I'm talking about, man. A Toxic Death Toucher. Oh, it's a classic. Love these cards. Always love them in limited. Take a 3. Black Sun's Twilight X and black. My favorite mana cost. Up to 1 target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. If X is 5 or more, return a creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Oh, damn. So this is generally a little bit weaker removal because, for instance, I would need to spend 4 total mana to give something -3/-3. So right away, it's quite weak, just generally. And then if it's 5, it's a really straightforward 2-for-1. So this seems like middling at best, going to be solid in limited because it's removal. Are those her legs? I think that she doesn't even need legs because things come to her. She, for instance, has various delivery apps on her cell phone, and she just says, drop it off right between my thigh gap, and I'll get it from there. But make sure to take a photo and send that first. So, yeah, I think this is fine. I'd give it at best a 1. It should be run, but probably not that. Probably no one's going to be that excited about it. In limited, this is incredible because it's just 2-for-1s. Blight Belly Rat. 1 and a black for Toxic 1. When Blight Belly Rat dies, proliferate. Woo! This feels like another just frickin' 4 out of 5 unbelievable solid common. I mean, this is like when it dies, proliferate. Fuck, that's good. I want to pick up all the Blight Belly Rats and give them tummy rubs. Bone Picker Scourge. Not even Scourge with an I, so it's like Scourge. 2 and a black for a 2/2 flyer. As long as opponent has 3 or more poison counters, Bone Picker Scourge has Death Touch and Lifelink. Huh. So, in Strixhaven, there were a lot of aggro black-white decks that had lifelink as a core component to them. You would attack, and the way that you overcame other aggro decks is that you would also have lifelink, which would allow you to stay on the aggression without needing to worry about your health total. And I think Bone Picker Scourge is like fascinating way to have that kind of feel in the air, where this can be like a stabilizer and just pick away if you get these poison counters. I quite like this card. All right. Chittering Skitterling. Flittering Bitterling. All right, the Chittering Skitterling, the 2 and black 1/4, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw a card. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters and only once each turn. I don't like saying Chittering Skitterling. It's an awkward to say name. See, I chittering is like so many syllables that come out so fast that I want a long 1-syllable second word, like chittering boar. Like that's what I want. I don't want chitterling, skitterling, because it feels like some build up, more build up, nothing. Like chittering, skittering baby. Great. Then like, holy shit, there's a lot of qualities to this baby. They needed to fit into that title. I respect this baby. So Chittering Skitterling gets a 0 out of 5 for me, purely because of the naming convention. And I love that this eye is here just like, taking a peek. Cruel Grimnarch. Oh, it's me, Techathol. Look out, it's a Grimnarch. Grimnarch is... okay. When I was a kid, this must have been 1st grade in kindergarten. maybe even up into second grade, I loved various little monsters, okay? Of all sorts. And so what I would do is every day when I got home from school, I would get a fresh piece of paper and I would draw a new monster, and it was like a headshot, right? Because it was like this collection of monster illustrations where it's always just a headshot of just the head. Um, and then when I would finish it, I would put it into my monster book. So that way you could open the book and you could look at all the monsters that I'd drawn, and their name was written above, and there was their head. It was like a selection screen in a fighting game. And so you give each of them names. So there was basically a skeleton. It was like a skull, but it had a top hat, and his name was Mr. Skelebabones. There was a monster made of fire. Okay, so his head was fire, and where his eyes were just two smaller sets of fire. So his head was fire, and he had fire for eyes. And there was another monster that I had just recently seen the Batman animated series pair of episodes called Feet of Clay. Still two of my all-time favorite TV episodes that tell the tragic story of Matt Hagen, an actor whose face has been damaged in an accident. And so he's been using this cream that allows him to reshape his face. But the cream has all these terrible side effects, and he becomes so obsessed with trying to fix his face so he can continue to act. He winds up going to the facility where they produce it, and he falls into he doesn't fall into it. He gets like a whole bunch dumped on his face, and it transforms his body into a giant monster made of clay that can constantly transform and reform himself however he wants. And he becomes the Batman villain, Clayface. Still my all-time favorite Batman villain. Suck it, Joker. And so I just finished watching this Batman episode about Clayface. So I just drew my own Clayface. But this one, it wasn't a headshot. It was like his whole body, so you could see various kind of like when someone opens up a Swiss Army knife, so you can see that it has like a bottle opener and a nail file. Like I had like this monster with all his various tools formed out of clay. And his name was Slash Narsh. Good old Slash Narsh. And when I see the name Cruel Grimnarch, that is so close to Slash Narsh, that I can't, look at how much work, look at the art that Alan Williams did an absolute bang up job of drawing the Cruel Grimnarch, who will now forever be known as the Cruel Slash Narsh. For 5 and a black, this 5/5 Death Toucher, when Cruel Slash Narsh enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you gain 4 life. Okay. This is seems like a fair 2-for-1. There was the really scary 7-cost black card that was like each opponent sacks a creature, discards a card, loses 4 life. This is not that good, so I'm a little sad, but it seems fine. Cutthroat Centurion, 2 and a black, sacrifice another. Is that? Oh my god, there's the arm. Oh, I see. This is an arm that is an axe bone, and he doesn't have any fingers. So when he tries to do finger painting, he just cuts everything up. So that poor guy had to cut his arm off. Okay, sacrifice another artifact or creature. Cutthroat Centurion gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once. This is kind of cute, the idea that I'd rip the arm off my friend, so now I have an axe. Yeah, that's pretty metal indeed. But this card overall has bad stats. It's an artifact. It looks like it sucks. I'll give it a 0. Drivnod. Tekathol, Drivnod, Malkator. Drivnod, Carnage Dominus. 3 and a pair of good old blacks. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So you can pay a pair of Phyrexian blacks, exile 3 creature cards from your graveyard, put an indestructible counter on Drivnod, Carnage Dominus. This card is busted. This card is busted. Because it's not 1 and 2 Phyrexian blacks. It's just 2 Phyrexian blacks. So it's basically pay 5, pay for life, and now you have an indestructible 8/3. There's going to be some mid-range black decks that are terrifying. Yeah, there's some real good stuff here. Yeah. I mean, this is great. The fact that it has 3 health, given that you can indestructibloid it, is, generally you can just ignore that. Almost a Yargle, yeah, but it's an indestructible Yargle. I give it a 5 in limited. Not sure in constructed, but I think it can see constructed play. Drown and Ichor. 1 and a black. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Proliferate. Great. Awesome card. Amazing removal, and it proliferates. I mean, this is an absolutely amazing card. In limited, in constructed, it's a little costly. The instant speed Exiler is a lot more relevant, and maybe the proliferate will be big here, but this seems unbelievable. Duress, it's hard for me to imagine a world where this card sees play. This art is really good, though. I immediately want to replay Dark Souls 3, where you go down to the swamp, and then you dig deeper, and it's another swamp, and you dig deeper, and it's the deepest swamp of all. Love Dark Souls 3. Feed the Infection, 3 and a black. You draw 3 cards, and you lose 3 life. Each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters loses 3 life. Huh. This is right on the edge of being, like, broken or terrible. Like, drawing 3 cards for 4 is very good. Losing 3 life is really significant in limited, but I think that this is probably a 4 or 5 in limited. This is probably a 4 or 5. As long as you have ways to stall. I mean, this seems incredible. Ooh, yeah. And I like that. Is this like a shockwave, or is this like a coliseum that has like rows of seats? Ooh. Fleshless Gladiator. Oh, that's so cool. We see the bone and the mask. 1 and a black for a 2/2. Return Fleshless Gladiator from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. You lose 1 life. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, the 2/2 for 2 that recurs, and wow. Yeah, the flavor text like this sometimes makes me tilt my head a little bit. What she lacks in skin, she makes up in swagger. Swagger is one of those words that feels completely anti-fantasy to me. I don't know about you. For me, when I read swagger, it is really close to if someone included in flavor text for sure. Rogues swagger, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, so they do. I don't know. Yeah, ruined by shitty pop songs. Yeah, no, I listen to the shitty pop songs, and I'm just like, swagger is meant for songs. Geth, Thane of Contracts. All right. Well, let's see if Geth really looks a lot different since I last saw him on the other side of the Perseus Veil. But 1 and a pair of black for a 3/4. Other creatures you control get -1/-1. All right. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains if this creature would leave the battlefield. Exile instead of putting it anywhere. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. All right. Oh my god. Alana Who says, it's the dude from Monsters, Inc. LOLOL. I mean, holy shit, actually. Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think Geth is actually pretty sick. Yeah, it's John Lithgow. All right, well, I mean, there it is. Mr. Waternoose, yeah. Yeah, like, this is actually pretty good. A 3/4 for 3 is a really sick stat line. And the idea of recurring creatures, but they're weaker, but you can just keep pulling things out of the graveyard. This feels like you really need to build carefully to include this, because there's a lot of really good X1s or cards that when they get -1/-1 are useless. But yeah, Geth, Thane of Contracts. It's pretty good. Again, 3/4 for 3, that's just great. This might make sense if I was a really slow control-y deck, and this is my cheapest creature. I run 3 of them. They form blockers and deal damage early on, and if I draw them later, I can use them to put huge things from my graveyard to the battlefield. Like if I return to Titan of Industry. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously very, very good. Gulping Scrap Trap. All right, 4 and a black. When Gulping Scrap Trap enters the battlefield or dies, proliferate. All right, yeah, no, this is like black is going to win by just toxicking someone and having all these proliferate cards. I actually think that poison and proliferate is insane in this set. I mean, I'm not even all the way through black yet. Infectious Inquiry, 2 and a black. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Each opponent gets poison counter. Jesus. I mean, this is going to go out of control in limited. Oh my god. This art is gross. Karamonics. You do Pilates? I've been doing Karamonics. Oh, so much energy. Yeah. Karamonics, Tekathal. What is his name? Like Drovdob? Who is he? Drivnod, Tekathal, Melkator. And of course our good friend, Karamonix, the Rat King. 1 and double black for a 3/3. Toxic 1. Other rats you control have Toxic 1. When Karamonix enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them. Put the revealed cards in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is a fine rat. We're going to do a whole bunch of rat decks. It's going to be rat o'clock. We're going to get the bulging belly rats. We're going to get the... What was the one rat that just made a copy of itself? And so you'd run 39 land and that rat and just like discard cards and make shitloads of them. What's the name of that card? It was like a rat with star. Patrick Mendez says me. Pack rat. That's what it was. Pack rat. Oh, all right. So this is actually a very mild card. A 3/3 that can potentially draw a bunch. It is the top 5 cards, so on average you'll get like, 2 rats. Necrogen Communion. 1 in a black. Enchant creature you control. It has Toxic 2. Oh! When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control. What? Holy farts. Oh my god. Oh, Necrogen Communion is annoying. Toxic 2, and when it dies, it comes back. Dude, there's like way too much Toxic and Proliferate in black. This is crazy. All right. 4 more hours to go. Ah, yes, a necrosquito. Instead of chicken or pork, we put in necrotic tissue into the taquito. It's a necroquito. All right, necrosquito. 3 and a black for a 0/0 flyer when it enters the battlefield with just like so much oil. It's just an oily guy. Necrosquito gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on Necrosquito. Oh, he's a very big Necrosquito. This one is goofy, and probably very middling. I mean, I need a bunch of my stuff to die. Oh, yeah. Necrosquito. This is going to be all right in limited. It can obviously get huge. Obviously, creatures can die, but it does seem very easy to have a 2/2 flyer for 4 enter the battlefield, and my opponent can block it with reach or something like that, and then I can't really attack with it. And then the board locks up. So this is... It is a flyer that grows, but it's another creature artifact you control being put in the battlefield. So this is the thing that's a little bit dangerous. But now that I think about it, there's so much proliferate. The Necrosquito might actually just pop off without anything dying. Yeah, no, this card's sick. Leave it a 4. Nimraiser Paladin. Oh, I see what I'm looking at now. He has the top half of a human and the body half, the middle half of a crab and the bottom half of like a different set of crabs. 4 and a black for a 4/4 with Toxic 2. When Nimraiser Paladin enters the battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Amazing limited card. It's just a solid 4. Offer immortality. 1 and a black. Target creature gains death touch and indestructible until end of turn. These cards are great. Love this. Love how good combat tricks are getting. Solid limited combat trick. Pestilent Symphoner. Or, excuse me, that's Siphoner. I saw an M in there. I like Pestilent Symphoner. Come to my symphony. Come to my symphony. We'll symphone you all night. Pestilent Siphoner with its proboscis. Ooh, yeah, just brain bugging that tissue. Ugh. 1 and a black. Flying Toxic 1. Yep, I think these Toxic 1 flyers are going to be very solid. Phyrexian Arena, welcome back. Yes, please to Tentacles. Who's that? Who's that behind? Oh my god, this looks so much like a character from a show I saw recently. Or a game or a movie. So that's Vraska. Who does Jace look like here? Oh yeah, that's Kerrigan. That's Sarah Kerrigan's arena. There we go. 1 and a pair of blacks. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This card is classic. It's classic. Kerrigan is like, yeah, no, become the Borg. You know, it's some good lore. Oh my god, welcome back. One of my favorite cards of all time. It gets a 5 in all formats. It's a 5 out of 5 out of 5, baby. Phyrexian Obliterator. Black, 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 black for a 5/5 trampler that whenever a source deals damage to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacks that many permanents. It's so good. So if you deal 3 damage to the Obliterator, you sack 3 permanents. It's sick. Often, you just attack and they don't block and it deals 5 damage, and there you go. It's so good. 5 out of 5. What does this mean for fight effects? Yeah, if I fight your thing and you dealt 4 damage to my Obliterator, you sack 4 things. This is just a classic 5 out of 5. It's so good. And look at how long his tail is. Ravenous Necrotitan. 2 and a pair of blacks for a 6/6. When Ravenous Necrotitan enters the battlefield, sack creature unless an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Ooh, that's a nice one. Getting a 6/6 for 4? There's like a couple ways to get huge things for 4 out, man. You have the Obliterator. You have that giant 6/6 flyer demon. I mean, this is some sick stuff. Black looks really great in limited. Scheming Aspirant. 1 black for a 1/3. When you proliferate, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. What the fuck? There's so many good black cards. Holy shit. Mamma mia. Oh my god. Just gonna proliferate the poison counters up and just smash. Oh my god. Shield Red's Edict. 1 and a black. Choose 1. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token. Each opponent sacrifices a planeswalker. What was my opinion of white? I think white looks pretty blah. Blue has some good-looking Izzety stuff. Shield Red's Edict looks great. I think black overall looks insane. Looks fucking insane in the membrane. You know, so I use the word insane a lot, and I spend a lot of time with me. And so whenever I see a card that's good, I say, oh my god, this card is insane. Or if someone's like, hey, did you like that game? Dude, that game was insane. So good. Elden Ring was insane. But I also learned that not a lot of people use insane the way that I do. Because I was at a restaurant, and I ordered like a plate of pasta or something, and this plate of pasta was really good. And the waitress comes to our table and says, how is everything? And I went, this plate of pasta is insane. And I could tell that she just was like, what the fuck does that mean? And it made me realize that she thought that I was saying that this plate of pasta was mentally fucking unstable and losing its mind. Like this pasta is experiencing psychosis. It was so funny because she goes, and how's everything? I go, this pasta is insane. And she blinks, she goes, "Excuse me?" And I suddenly realized what she probably understood. And so I just begin to laugh. I just can't even talk. I'm just like laughing, and I'm like, "It's good. It's really good." And she goes, "That's great." And she just left. Oh my God. And how's everything? This plate of pasta is a serial killer. Excuse me? And this card is insane. But you get me, right? You understand. Oh my God. I went to this man. He was eating pasta for lunch, a heavy pasta, no less. I asked him how it was, and he said that the pasta was insane. And she's like probably saying this to her friends who are like, "What does that mean? What is like?" He like pasta was communicating in a way he couldn't understand. Oh, it was so good. All right. Yep, this card's great. 2 mana, sack stuff, sack planeswalker. It's good, 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 good. It's so great. It's amazing. Oh my God. Shield Red's Head Cleaver. 3 and a black for a 2/4 with Menace and Toxic 2. Oh, ooh, that's going to be a limited beater. Toxic 2? Jesus. This card is insane. Excuse me? Yeah, no, this is some good stuff. Toxic 2, Menace. Woo! 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 Yeah, this art is... We are really at the moment that gives She-Old Red's Head Cleaver the namesake. Stinging Hive Master. 2 and a black for a 3/2 Toxic 1. When Stinging Hive Master dies, make a little Phyrexian Might. This seems like a fine Drek pack-filling 1/5. Testament Beaver. Now that I've read this as Testament Beaver, you're never going to not see Testament Beaver. 3 and a black for a 4/1 Beaver. When the Beaver dies, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. All right. Testament Beaver, pack-filling dregs. Dregs, Drek, black, nonsense. Total filler. Vat Emergence. Look, that's me when I get out of the shower. I'm just, ugh. 4 and a black. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Proliferate. Oh my. We have the classic 5 mana Reanimate, but it's a creature card from a graveyard, not your graveyard. Yeah. I always convince myself that these are good and limited, but I think that they're genuinely pretty blah. This is 5 to get something back. Proliferate is the upside, so I'm just like, it seems like a 1 or a 2. It's like, all right. Vat of Rebirth. And when you get out of the Vat of Rebirth, you experience a Vat Emergence. I really think that even though this is alphabetically ordered, like, I really think that this should have been second, this should have been first. Single black with another artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield. Put an oil counter on Vat of Rebirth. Remove 4 oil counters. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. All right. This is a fine little reanimator in limited. It's whatever. It's totally whatever. It's a 2. It's a 1. It's whatever. One of the things that is nice is that will eventually be 2-for-1 value, but you need to have 8 babies die, plus proliferation can maybe help you get there. Vran, Tecathol, Malcator, Drivnod, Vran. You say it for a long time because there's 2 A's. Vran. Executioner Thane, Vran. 1 in a... You know what this makes me think? Vran. Okay, before I do Max Caliber, welcome back, Max Caliber TV. And yeah, dude, got married. Feels great. I get to say my wife all the time. And it's one of the greatest things ever. Hope you've been doing well, man. I have been watching, and we might even raid tonight, the most unbelievable channel that I have ever seen on Twitch. It's been live for just a few days, but the name of the channel is Watch Me Forever, okay? And what it is that it is an AI-generated 24/7, 365 sitcom, and it is impossible to stop watching. And at sometimes they're in the apartment and they go over to the microwave and they're using these AI generated lines and they start hitting the microwave and it goes like beep, 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 beep. And it's like so loud and chat's like, oh, fuck, holy shit. And everyone's always talking about a new deli or a new restaurant or a new cafe down the street, and everyone always agrees to everything. That sounds great. Let's do it. And dude, Gunfire says the comedic timing is too good. Oh my god, the comedic timing. It's those computerized voices that'll be like, hey, did you hear that down the street they've opened a new restaurant? You know, like the intonation's a little off. I know. They're serving frogs there. That's what I heard. Isn't that crazy? Yes. That is hilarious. Oh my god. Dude, Britt and I were like howling with laughter. We were absolutely folding in half. It was so funny, man. So anytime I see something that goes Vran, I'm just like We're gonna raid that place tonight. I hope I remember to. Vran, Executioner Thane. Wow, a 2-mana legendary for 2/2. Whenever one or more other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. Absolute gas. Hot plasma. Ridiculous. So good. It's not super out of control like in those old Mardu Aristocrats decks where you'd be able to get pinged for 40 damage in 1 turn. But like chipping away at someone in standard and limited is really solid right now. So this seems just like a 5 out of 5. Probably even 5 out of 5 in constructed. If you have like this and a tenacious underdog, keep banging in with a tenacious underdog. Take him out. It's Vraska Barial's Sting. Dude, stuff like this where it goes out of the frame. Part of me is just like, stay in the frame. Vraska Betrayal Sting, 4 black and a Phyrexian black. Compleated. Oh man. Compleated. You draw a card, you lose 1 life, proliferate. Alright. So, in a way, this is her +1. Target creature becomes a treasure artifact with sack, add a mana, loses all other types. Wow. That's crazy. So she can turn enemy creatures into treasures. Target player has fewer than 9 poison counters. They get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. So it just sets you to 1. Oh, that's pretty good. This card appears to be fucking terrible. Let me see if I agree with that. Where's the old Vraska? Where's the old Vraska? You know, this seems like alright. It's like alright. I mean, it's alright. It's -2, deletes an enemy creature. Maybe this is actually alright. Maybe this is actually okay. So I could play this for 5 and turn an enemy into a creature and then start proliferating and drawing and losing life. This is probably pretty good. Yeah, dude, Onyx Blade. Yeah, you're right. It does the Planeswalker thing of I can kill things and I can draw cards. Losing life to proliferating. Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is solid. This is solid. I mean, this is solid. I give this a 3 out of 5 in constructed. I'll probably play this in constructed. This is obviously 5,000 out of 5 in limited. Vraska's Fall. Each opponent sacks a creature or planeswalker and gets a poison counter. Wow. This is definitely limited. Filler. Whisper of Ross. Black. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Proliferate. Very good card. Simple tiny baby removal and a proliferator for 1 at instant speed. Very, very good and limited. We did it. We're catching up on time. We're catching up on time. We're not going to need to go till 9 p.m. All will be one. Come here. Come here. Don't sit there. Come here. I know. We're going to go to the lab. Here, let's give you a car wash. Yeah, hi. All right, we're going under. All right, all will be one. It's the evaluation of the set. It's a red. It's an enchantment. Yeah, so by the way, my first reaction now that I've finished all the black cards is that black is the best card in draft. Almost as good as my cat. But nothing's ever as good as my cat because you're the best cat. And I love you. She's mad. All will be one, 3 in double red. Whenever you put one or more counters on a permanent or player, all will be one deals that much damage to target opponent, creature, and opponent controls, or planeswalker opponent controls. Wait, what? Wait a fucking minute. Whenever I put counters on anything, I start blasting. This card is probably terrible. I'll be running this card. Does it hit opponent and a creature? No, it looks like it deals that much damage to an opponent, a creature, or a planeswalker. I just can't shoot any of my stuff. No, Solid One, you're right. This is a day 9 out of 5. I like this one. This is the good stuff. Run this with Mirror March. Yeah, it ain't legendary. Yeah, I'm going to be running a couple of these guys. I mean, the reason why we would say it's bad is that it costs 5, and then it does this sort of seeming infinite damage effect. But, like, I have to be active in making counters that do things. So the way that this would be good is if on turn 6, I could ping you for 20 damage. Because I don't know if there's a card that's like, anytime an opponent takes damage, put 1 counter on me. Because you could put a counter on me, then I shoot you. Which puts a counter on me, and then I shoot you. Which loops. But outside of that, this card seems fucking terrible. I'd give it a 0 out of 5. But this is a day 9 card, man. I'm going to run this stuff. That's why I love red. Over time, I think my love for red has grown. Because I don't like Gruul very much. I'm not that interested in Gruul. But I love green and I love red. So let's see. Awaken the Sleeper. 3 and a red. Gain control of target. Oh, it's one of these things. Axiom Engraver. I actually have my Axiom keycap here. Is it not on this keyboard? No, it is on this keyboard. All right. Now how do I remove it? All right, let's see if I can. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Comes with cat hair. See, look. I have a little Axiom keycap. Look at that. Axiom Esports. Yeah, there it is. All right, we'll put that back. Yeah, that was fun for me. All right, Axiom Engraver, 1 in a red for a 1/3. Axiom Engraver in his battlefield with 2 oil counters on it. And then I can remove oil to discard a card and draw a card. Oh, give me a break. Just charge me. Charge me mana. Charge me some damn mana. Now you get a negative 10 out of 5. This card should just be like pay 1 to do this effect. Don't make me remove my oil. Barbed Batter Fist. Oh my god, Barbed Batter Bees. Look at this. We see some hexes. And 1 square. Ooh, how'd that square sneak in there? Oh my god, I can't even believe it. That's all I can see when I see the Barbed Batter Bees. 1 in a red. For Mirrodin. Equipped creature is a little bigger, but also a little smaller. So this will make a 3/1. For Mirrodin. Oh my god. I'm going to give this a For Mirrodin out of 5, which is like... This is the power stone of this set. I mean, I don't know. The fact that it's equipped 1 is actually pretty ridiculous. In retrospect, I think this card's actually quite solid. This is quite solid. Because you have a 3/1 for 2... And then you can continue to pump things up inexpensively. Blade Graft Aspirant. Ah, great. More aspirants. 2. And wait. Is there a cycle of... Because you know how there was quad black Phyrexian Obliterator, and there was the quad white. Was there a quad blue one? Or is it not a cycle? Anyways. Blade Graft Aspirant. 2 red, 2/3 menace. Equipment spells you cast cost 1 less. Activated abilities of equipment you control that target Bladegraft Aspirant cost 1 less to activate. Alright. Keep going, Sean. Keep going. Don't let the fact that you did yoga bring you down. Blazing Crescendo. Oh my god, that is some awesome art. Yeah, I'm not rating this card. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. What? What the fuck? This is like the best combat trick I've ever seen. Holy shit. Okay, +3/+1 for 2. There's no trample, there's no first strike, but you get to exile the top card of your library. Wow. And common? Fuck, this is good. This is really good. This is really good. The reason it's so good is that often combat tricks have the upside of I can kill your creature and I have my creature stay on the battlefield, so it's like a tempo gain, and occasionally it's used to pop in there and deal some more damage as a finisher. This also gives you the opportunity to like draw a card. It's like +3/+1 draw a card. Now the problem with this is that often combat tricks give indestructible or give first strike or trample, some way to have upside. Because +3/+1, if I have a 2/2 and I attack and you block with a 3/3, Blazing Crescendo will allow me to kill your creature, but then I lose my creature, lose Blazing Crescendo, and you've only lost your creature. So that's self 2-for-1ing. So the exile at the top is a way to sort of offset that. But this has so much upside potential if you can like have a flyer that's a 2/2 that attacks and your opponent has a 2/3. Blazing Crescendo can kill it, and you get to redraw a card. I mean, that's awesome. This is an amazing card. Cacophony Scamp. We have a red for a 1/1. Deals combination player. You may sack it. If you do proliferate, when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. These cards are always good. These are always good. And I assume that it can occasionally do its first half of things. But for the most part, I think it's just this second paragraph. When Cacophony Scamp dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. This is, yeah. Yeah, this is solid. It's also a goblin. The world always needs more goblin. Well. If it isn't the card that your pal Day9 sent out on the internet. 3 and 3 reds for a 4/4. The spell does cost 3 less to cast if you have 9 or more cards in your graveyard, faithless looting gamers. So this could be a 4/4 for 3. Flying. When Capricious Hellraiser enters the battlefield, exile 3 cards at random from your graveyard. Choose a non-creature, non-land card from among them, and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana costs. Bam! If you can get 9 cards in there, and then just play the Capricious Hellraiser for 3 and copy a spell and just blast. Dude, so good. This RK1146 is total trap. That is the biggest lie that has ever been typed in this channel ever. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Who doesn't want a 4/4 flyer for 3? It's so sick. Oh, this card's fucking rad. And any card that's rad can never be a trap. It can never be a trap. Lunch Special says, what does that random mean on paper? The way it would work is that in paper, you would do some sort of dice rolling effect. But honestly, people have little apps where they're just like, oh, there's 10 things in there. You can also do something really simple, like shuffle it up, draw the top 3 cards. You know, there's a lot of things to do. So yeah, many ways to go about. What's the phrase? Many ways to skin a cat. Why is that the phrase? I have never ever heard of a single cat being skinned if it didn't involve a felony charge. It's crazy. They shouldn't say. They should say there's a lot of ways to commit a felony, right? That's what they should do. Yeah, oh yeah, flensing. There's many ways to flens a cat. God, 74 NO, dude. Only person paying attention. All right. Chimney. Oh, yeah. This card I just gave a 5 out of 5 because it's going to be fun to do in Constructed, but it's true. It might suck. This is a 5 out of 5 in limited because it's just a huge dragon that can potentially do crazy, crazy things. All right, Chimney Rabble. 3 in a red, haste. When Chimney Rabble enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red Phyrexian goblin creature token. Oh, it just makes a goblin. So this card is legit, like really good. 3/3 hasters. I mean, this is just really nice. Making some extra stuff is nice. I really love cards like this. Token doesn't have haste. Doesn't even bother me. Doesn't even bother me. Just having an extra body there feels really nice. I'm really liking Is It in this so far. And this is all for limited. Churning Reservoir, red. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter on another target non-token artifact or creature you control. Huh. Wow, it's just a 1-mana oil generator. Yeah. Pay 2, create a 1/1 red Phyrexian goblin creature token. Activate only if an oil counter was removed from a permanent you controlled this turn, or a permanent with an oil counter on it was put into a graveyard this turn. So, if I'm oiling up my gamers, I can start to add more little things in there. You know, this card is okay. This is, I mean, it costs 1 mana, and it needs condition to activate. But it can also enable your oilers. I think that the first paragraph is really the right one to focus on. That there's a lot of things that want oil to do things. Yeah, I think I'd give this a 3 in limited. Non-constructed. Dragon Wing Glider. Firmiraden. Equipped creature has +2/+2 and has flying and haste. So this is a 4/4 flying haster for 5. Oh, fuck. That's a good card. Oh, that sucks. Ah, damn it. Ah, man, there's a good Firmiraden card. What is this doing here? Why is Wizards printing a reasonable Firmiraden card? I mean, Dark Paladins is Goldspan, but worse. Oh man, you're taking the best possible dragon that could be printed ever and saying, it's that but worse. It's like, I have an e-commerce idea. That's like Amazon, but worse. I mean, I honestly, a 5 mana, 4/4 flying haster is just a solid card. It has always been a solid card. The fact that I can re-equip something and give it flying and haste to beat in is another longer term effect, which is way better than the Goldspan Dragon. I'm a better effect right now. And if you target me, I'm better right now. So, I mean, this is fine. This is good. I don't think it's quite like red. It feels good when it's really aggressive right now. So I don't think it would show up in mono red. I don't think it would show up in any even mid-range thingies. But this seems like a very solid limited pickup. I think I'd have to give it a 5, which I hate. Because this is really the only way when this is relevant is if you're in a crazy late game situation. Most of the time it's a 4/4 haste flyer for 5. Exuberant Fueling. Ooh. Or excuse me, exuberant Fuseling. An exuberant Flesning Fuseling. 1 red, 0/1, trample. Gives +1/+0 for each oil counter on it when it enters the battlefield. And whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on exuberant Fuseling. This is really great with the oil me up. Let's proliferate our oils, baby. Not really any proliferation we've seen in red, but, you know, we kind of have a form of oil-based proliferation with the Churning Reservoir. So let's see here. Yep, all seems good. Yep. Forge Hammer Centurion. 2 in a red. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on Forge Hammer Centurion. Whenever Forge Hammer Centurion attacks, you may remove 2 oil counters from it. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. Huh. Or should I say ho-ha? This has to be good. But it doesn't have to be that good. I'm going to give it a 0 just because I can. Just because I can, because I'm like that. What'd you do, honey? Well, baby, I gave things zeros all day long. Wow, sounds like you had a great day. I'm like, Britt, you have no idea how fragile my ego is. Giving things a 0 makes me feel a sense of power. This card, beautifully arted, carefully designed, thoroughly tested and balanced. It's a 0, everyone. Don't draft this garbage. I really am a cool and powerful person who's in control of his life. All right, Forge Hammer Centurion. You know what? I feel bad for you. I'll give you a 1 out of 5. Excallion uses the happy crab emote with 0. Yeah, that's exactly the meme where it's just like 0. Yay! I felt good about myself. It's the same reason that I enjoy watching the opening episodes of The Bachelor, because it's just a bunch of people who are unhinged, drinking, and trying to fall in love with the same one person. It's fucking out of control, and I just make fun of everything that's happening on the screen. I'm fucking cool because these people are fucking ridiculous, and I'm cool because I'm pointing out how ridiculous they are. But then I do have to stop watching around episode 5 or 6 because I get really emotionally attached to some of those relationships. Free from Flesh. 1 red, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put 2 oil counters on it. Oh! Free from Flesh? You mean gift with oil. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn and gets so much oil. Free from Flesh. This is an excellent card, period. 2 excellent combat tricks in red for limited. Fuck yeah. Furnace Punisher. He'll go up to your furnace and he'll beat the shit out of it. All right. Furnace Punisher. 2 and a red for a 3/3 Menacer. Beginning of each player's upkeep. Furnace Punisher deals 2 damage to that player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. Oh. 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 The furnace is your face. Oh my god. Face Punisher. Oh my god. This is a good mono red card against some goofy ass 3-color decks. Ooh, this is going to show up in Constructed. This is like a 1. This is not an amazing card, but this is the kind of thing that you're happy to fucking dip in against some ass Spurs. This text is irrelevant in limited. Everyone's running their basic lands. A 3/3 for 3 with Menace is nice, though, so I'd still give it like a 3. Furnace Strider, 4 and a red for a 4/5. Enters battlefield with, it's just so oily. Move an oil counter from Furnace Strider. Target creature you control gains haste until end of turn. Very good. I really like this card in limited. I would give it a 4 out of 5, actually. I would. There it is, right there. So this is a 5-mana 4/5 with haste that on the next turn can give another thing haste. Yeah, this can target itself. So this is just excellent. This is amazing. And again, let me reemphasize, if I don't mention it in Constructed, then it is a -20 out of 5. It is an embarrassment to be running Constructed if I don't mention it. So let's click again. Gleeful Demolition. 1 mana, destroy target artifact. Wow, let me tell you something. Red's identity is like being able to destroy artifacts. Someone was just like, people aren't doing it enough. They're not valuing what red is good at. Make it cost 1. Destroy an artifact. If you controlled that artifact, create 3 1/1 red Phyrexian goblin creature tokens. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Jeloshan says, can there be a separate rating scale for the flavor text? Well, let me read this one. Urabrask encourages creativity in all its forms, even the destructive ones, especially the destructive ones. That's all right. That's all right. Here's the thing. There is something that only the really great media out there tends to fucking nail, which is this idea of every single different aspect of your creative work resonates on the same resonance. I should say it supports the same resonant. Every single element is resonant in the same way. And so, for instance, I was talking to someone about this with StarCraft yesterday. In StarCraft, you have the Zerg, and the Zerg is a faction that are very insect and sci-fi alien inspired. And everything about how the faction works contributes to that. You have workers that are little drones, and when you want to make a building, they turn into the building. That's very insectoid, right? The idea of things transforming into cocoons that hatch into other things. Many Zerg units themselves can also turn into cocoons, and out pops an upgraded version or a transformed version. They don't have production structures like factories or barracks that train the Zerg units. They have a hatchery that produces larvae, and then you tell the larva what unit to turn into. They have creep, this purple goo that spreads along the ground that's very evocative of the stuff in the movie Aliens when they land on the planet and see that everywhere. Oh, my God. The upgrades to deal more damage. It's not like +1 damage. It doesn't say that. It says like that you're improving the claws or you're hardening the carapace. So every single mechanic kind of has this feeling and pointing back to this idea. Like the hydralisks have this kind of spit where they're shooting these spines out because this is something that you can find in creatures. As opposed to like having a little gun that shoots, every single thing points to that. And as a result, even if you're trying to ignore it, you get a strong sense of it. And the more you look, the more you find that same resonance there. And when it comes to Magic, I think it does an unbelievable job of this in 1,000,001 ways, where gleeful demolition. All right. And then you see that art matching this. And then you look at the effect, and the effect supports that. And then you look at the flavor text, and the flavor text supports that. And this is connected to things that have been happening in other red cards. So all of these themes resonate within the card and also resonate across all the red cards. And I think that in that way, what I think about the flavor text and kind of how I interface with that is that when you're making a game that is composed of pieces, it's not clear which piece a person will focus on or care about or even come into contact with. So I could, for instance, just buy a few packs and I just never get this card. There you go. How can you communicate a holistic story and a holistic feel when you have no idea what pieces people will actually be having? And I think that there's this idea of oversaturation and resonance in order to help communicate that effectively. So like here, I for instance, have not read a lot of the lore. I was definitely not looking backwards at some of the previous lore leading up to this. I'm familiar with Jace. I'm familiar with Vraska. I don't know what they're, what's going on with them. I also don't really look at flavor text typically, but they have saturated so much. I have a really strong feel for Phyrexia, and I have a really strong feel for Jace and a strong feel for Vraska, even though I haven't even tried to look at it. Oh my God, my back is so tight. So, I don't really rate flavor text because I don't pay attention to them, but I wanted to give like a shout out to Wizards for being so effective at communicating in that way. And I think this oversaturation is a great technique. Hazardous Blast. Oh yeah, this card's bad. Hazardous Blast. Maybe it's actually pretty good. Hazardous Blast. One more time. Hazardous Blast. 3 in a red. Hazardous Blast is 1 damage to each creatures your opponents control. Creatures your opponents control can't block this turn. Fuck yeah, I love cards like this even though they're fucking bad. Hazardous Blast. Probably gets a 1 out of 5. Probably gets a 1 out of 5. Uh-oh. Bee Halberd. We got our bees. 1 and a red. For Mirrodin. As long as it's your turn, equip creature has first strike and trample. This is actually okay. This is actually pretty solid. I think the Hex B Halberd. You have a 2/2 with first strike and trample. Great aggressive card. Push in. And then it dies. And this equip cost is high, but again, limited is like slowly over time allowing for a lot more mid and late game plays, even in aggro decks. They're not trying to win by turn 5. They're trying to get your opponent low by turn 5. And then there's some really cute turns or cute plays you do on turn 7, 8, 9. And this is where that equip cost, I think, lies. Hex Gold Slash. This might be my favorite art in the set. Holy shit, dude. 1 red, Hex Gold Slash deals 2 damage to target creature. That creature has Toxic. It deals 4 damage to that creature instead. Great. Great card. Man, that art is beautiful. Holy shit. Excellent limited card. Being able to deal 4 to Toxic is insanely good. Man, I love this art. That is some good shit. Wow, fuck. Koth, Fire of Resistance. Hey, they actually put it behind the mana cost. They didn't feel like completely obscuring that it cost 2. 4 mana Planeswalker for 4. Search your library for a basic mountain card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Oh, fuck. That's all that I've read, and I love this card. Shit, mono red control. Koth, Fire Resistance, deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Oh, shit, dude. You get an emblem with whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target. Okay. Okay, this is fucking awesome. This is my favorite card that I have seen so far, dude. I get to look for mountains. Oh, dude, let's do a big red deck. This is the best Magic card. Yeah, I completely agree, EK Hawkman. I am sold. Koth, Infinity out of 5. Our first Infinity rated card. Well done, Koth. No Koth for alarm. Just putting mountains in my hand. Like literally right here on my mustache. It's itchy. This card is nice. This card is very nice. So you can deal 4 damage to something on this turn. Red's going to have a lot of removal. You can draw more mountains. This is just great. Jesus, I love this card. Oh my god. Kuldotha Cackler. Oh yeah, this is probably going to be pretty darn good in limited. It needs some protection because it's going to go to 1 loyalty like immediately when you blow something up and then slowly begin getting mountains. But man, this is great. Kuldotha Cackler. 2 and a red for a 2/3 trampler. When it attacks, it gets +X/+O, where X is the number of permanents you control with oil on them. Oh, I see. He's a crackling cackler because he loves lighting up with oil. He loves oil. He's just like the brother in Junji Ito's short story, Greased. Has anyone read Greased? Or in some translations called Glyceride? So the second time I brought that up because the set keeps talking about oil. And if you want to be incredibly upset, you should read that story. If you're not in the mood to be upset, don't even read any Junji Ito. Oh man, Flame Cyborg says, oh yeah. Well, let me ask you, Flame Cyborg, are you okay? You alright? Hope you're doing alright. Magmatic Sprinter. 2 and a red, haste for a 3/2. Love hasters. When Magmatic Sprinter enters the battlefield, put 2 oil counters on target artifact or creature you control. Alright. Beginning of your end step, return Magmatic Sprinter to its owner's hand unless you remove 2 oil counters from it. Oh, fuck. Holy shit. So I drop it, put oil on things, attack, it comes back. Put it out, put oil on things, attack, bring it back. This shouldn't be Magmatic Sprinter. It should be Oil Delivery Boy. And the boy comes in, he's on his little tiny bicycle. Instead of throwing newspaper, he throws 2 oils. And then he goes home, and then it's the next day, and he runs and throws 2 oils. Holy shit, I really like this card. I'd give this a 5, because I'm out of control. Molten Rebuke. Haven't we seen this before? 5 mana, 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker, destroy target equipment. There's like always a 5 mana, deal 5 damage. Like always. It just always exists in red, sorcery speed. Destroy target equipment. I'm recognizing Eli Manaya's amazing touch. Jesus, that art is just good. That's just good shit, man. Wow. And destroying equipment. I mean, this is like totally whatever. Nahiri's Sacrifice, 1 in a red, is an additional cost. Sack an artifact or creature with mana value X. Nahiri's Sacrifice deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Okay, so if I get a big thing and I sack it, I can clear the board. But it's mana value. It's not power or anything like that. So this seems hard to pull off. I'd probably give it a -1 out of 5. Like, if you run it, you're probably, like, not a very interesting person. I'd assume so. Yeah, this is not, no sirs. Oxida Finisher. This is where I stopped playing Sekiro. Oh my god, it's a 7 mana giant ogre? Oh, fuck yeah. 5 in red for a 7/5. Affinity for equipment. What? What? Are you joking me? So if I have like 3 equipments, 5 minus 3 is 2. It's a 4 mana, 7/5 trampler. Oh my god, for Mirrodin. Oh. Now I go back to the previous card. Yeah, let me do that. It sucks. Yeah, I think Oxida Finisher is actually going to be pretty good. There's the Mirrodin equipments have not really been that amazing. A 7/5 trampler, if this can get down to 5, I'd be pretty happy with it. And then you can like attach that equipment to it, and he can like go all in. You can give him some bee halberds and shit like that. Yeah, I'd give this guy like a 2 out of 5. He does a non-zero amount of things. Rebel Salvo. Holy shit, that is such cool imagery. Whoa. 2 in a red. Affinity for equipment. Get out of here. Rebel Salvo deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible until end of turn. This is a 5 in limited. Big old 5-eroni. 3 mana, deal 5, get around counters, get around indestructible, things like that. Quite happy about those. I might even wind up running a couple in my red list. Hang in there, Day 9. We're almost to green. Red Sun's Twilight. X in red. Destroy up to X target artifacts. If X is 5. For each artifact destroyed this way, create a token that's a copy of it. These tokens gain haste. Exile in the beginning of the next end step. This card is legitimately fucking terrible. I'm sure that it's going to be, I cast it in my limited and I won this one game. Doesn't that mean that overall it's good? I don't know why you ask that to me every single set. Day 9, listen, I've been doing this thing. It's only caused losses, but this one win was cool, so wouldn't you change the evaluation to say that it's actually pretty good? Thoughts? This card's terrible. Like, I'm sure there's going to be like, oh no, my equipment. Oh, fuck. And I'm sure you're going to make a bunch of tokens that peck in and put some poison counters and like whatever. I'm sure that I'll run this in my limited, but this is like a 23rd card. This seems so bad. In Constructed, it seems so bad. Miadov's fun commander thing. It depends on what you mean by fun. Like, that's the sort of fun that you experience when it's the last few turns of Monopoly and one person owns the entire board and everyone else is just trying to luck their way, hopping over all their hotels, and that person who's just inevitably going to scoop all the money into their pockets, yeah, that person's having fun. And if you want to have that sort of fun in Commander, you'd run this card. There's going to be people that have like 70 artifacts out, and then what you do is you just blow up all your stuff, and then you don't even get to keep those artifacts At the end of your turn, they're gone. And you're just like, X is 10. I mean, I guess you can do, I mean, you can. But this art is so cool for how not cool this card is. Resistance Sky Warden. You know what? This guy's fucking awesome. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 5. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has very little text. He's big. He costs mana, and he's going to throw his spear at the sky. That's fine. Sawblade Scamp. 1 red for a 1/1 with haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Sawblade Scamp. You can tap to remove an oil counter from Sawblade Scamp. Deals 1 damage to each opponent. Dude, this is good. This card's good. Dude, it's a pecker. It just pecks. It just ping pecks a little bit. I mean, this is some good stuff. It's just damage. Yeah, no, it's an Izzet card. Put an oil counter on Sawblade Scamp. You just tap it, just ping pong. Yeah, no, I like it. And I was saying this just a few minutes ago that old school aggro was try to kill by turn 5 in limited. That's what it means. But now it's like get your opponent low by turn 5 or 6, and then on turn 7, 8, 9, try to finish off in some way. Like if your opponent's at 4 and you have a Sawblade Scamp, you start tapping and pecking. That's good stuff. Shrapnel Slinger. 1 and a red. God, this reminds me of that weird freaky-headed chariot thing in Elden Ring. So good. 2 mana, 2/2. When Shrapnel Slinger enters the battlefield, you may sack a creature. When you do, destroy target artifact an opponent controls. So boring. Technically, there's a lot of artifact creatures in the site, or in the set, but still very boring. 0. Oh my god, it's slow bad. Iron Goblin. Dude, it's slow bad. Oh, these names. Where's our running list? We have Techathal, we have Drivnod. We have, like, Carmunalax, or whatever his name was. Unctus. Slowbad, the Iron Goblin. Whose eyes point in different directions. Oh, yeah, Malcator! It is I, Malcator. I'll be mentioned twice, and you'll never hear from me again. Slowbad, Iron Goblin. 3 mana, 3/3. Sack an artifact. Add an amount of fire equal to the sacked artifact's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate. Okay, dude. Slow bad is so bad. And this is the joke that all of you made, but I'm going to make it because it is now my joke. Oh, no. Almighty Babino gifted 5. What do you want with me, Almighty Babino? All right, Almighty Babino. We're very grateful for your 5 gifted subs, and we're ready to fulfill our end of the bargain. Nothing beats Fibblethip. Yeah, Fibblethip is an amazing name. Almighty Babina says, please re-rate Slow Bad as Slow Good out of 5. All right. All right. Guys, let's read this card. Okay. Slobbed. That's a cool name. Slobbed Iron Goblin. I see Slob Gob. Really strong assonance there. 2 and a red for a 3/3. Already a fine stat line. If I weren't even going to read the remainder, this would still be a solid body in limited. But let's read the effect. Oh, wow. Legendary. A Phyrexian Goblin Artificer. This is going to be good. Tap to sack an artifact. Right away, I don't see a mana cost at all. Goodness. Add an amount of, wait a minute, mana equal to the sacked artifact's mana value and spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifact. I have an idea. Imagine if you had a really powerful artifact like the Immortal Sun, a 6-mana artifact that lets you draw more cards, cast things more cheaply, buffs all your creatures. You could, for free, sack that. You now have 6 red. You can't cast like a burn spell that costs 6 because it's not an artifact spell, but you could recast the same Immortal Sun again. Now, huge problem that you might have in Magic, I mean, doesn't happen in Legends of Runeterra because the hero keeps flippy-flopping around, but like you could, In Magic, occasionally have several Immortal Suns in your hand because your name is Day 9 and you always want to have one. And what can you do if you have those in your hand? It's clogging up your hand space. You're running the risk of discarding. Slow Bad comes along and is slow good about helping you just get that out of the hand and onto the battlefield. And you might be saying, well, Sean, why don't I just spend the mana that I have without sacrificing to cast a second Immortal Sun? I have it out there, right? Well, yeah. But this is my show, and I think that Slow Bad is great. All right? It is like really great. Like, you could sack your mites that have a converted mana value of 0. Look, we could sacrifice them, and then if I had another... Hold on, wait. Where's the... Like, lymphomic Grinch Nunch? What was his name? What was that fucking guy's name? Hold on. Like, imagine. Hold on. Just wait. Oh, this is one of you, proliferate. Hold on. So it can't sacrifice itself because it's not an artifact, but if you use the blue... Oh my god, we got it. So if you... Where is it? Wait, there it is. No. What's it called? I mean, I almost have the explanation here. Oh, fucking, what is the name of that fucking thing? Yeah, encroaching mycosynth. Imagine on turn 3 you played Slow Bad, and then on turn 4 you play the encroaching mycosynth, so now all non-land permanents are artifacts. And then on turn 5, okay, check it out. Gotta go way back. Where's Slow Bad? Okay, so on turn 5, you play a big artifact, and then on turn 6 you have 6 available mana. And then you have that 5 mana artifact. You can sack it. So now you have like 11 mana. Because the Mycosynth made the 5 cost anything. That's just an artifact now. So you have 11 mana. Solfim, Mayhem Dominus. 2 and a pair of reds for a 5/4. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or permanent opponent controls, it deals double that damage to that player instead. All right, so this is a doubler. So you just 1 and a pair of Phyrexian reds, discard 2 cards, and it becomes indestructible. I mean, this is terrific, classic, awesome, solid mono red stuff, right? You play this on turn 4. Yes, they could have removal, but they've been burning their removal on all your babies at that point, and then you could play Solfim. Occasionally, you can make this indestructible in mono red. Occasionally, it just lands, and then you burn them for double damage. It's just great. It's just great. So, Nash's honest question, what if you don't have 2 cards? Yeah, so anything that is before the colon is required. So, if it's viewed as a cost. So, I would have to pay that 3 mana, and I would have to discard 2 cards. And if I was able to do that, then I would put an indestructible counter on Solfim. So if this colon was, for instance, where this comma was, where it was 3, discard 2 cards, put an indestructible counter. Then if I have no cards in hand, that's fine. I will discard up to 2, and there you go. This does require some resources in the hand. So, I mean, I still think that Solfim is just terrific. Just all these Dominuses are so good. I think they're excellent. Thrill of Possibility. Would they quit reprinting this card? This card is reprinted every day at this point. Like, someone at Wizards of the Coast gets up, they like brush their teeth, they put on deodorant, and then they reprint Thrill of Possibility. I mean, this art is incredible. But that doesn't change the fact that I've seen this so many times. All right. Needs more Colossal Dreadmont? Yes, please. This is also just a really solid card to exist in Limited, you know? Urabrask's Anointer. 3 in red for a 4/2. And Urabrask's Anointer enters the battlefield, deals X damage to any target where X is the number of permanents you control with oil counters on them. 5. Dude, ETB oil painting. It's so good, man. This is like the simplest 2-for-1 of all time. You play this, you blow something up, you still have an anointer. It's 5 out of 5. Not constructed. No one's going to do oil decks and constructed. Like, get out of here with that. Urabrask's Forge. 2 in red for a legend. Oh, not legend, excuse me, rare artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put an oil counter on Urabrask's Forge. Then create an X1 red Phyrexian horror creature token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on Urabrask's Forge. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. So if I understand this right, let's imagine that those horrors stayed. If I had 3 oil counters, so it's a 3-1. In 5 turns, it's still a 3-1, right? In 5 turns, it's still a 3-1. I'm going to run so many of these. Like, so many of these. Make a bunch of little tiny baby swarmers. Keep clearing the board and just keep attacking in. Wow. We sacrifice them at the end step. So let me just restate my same question again, and we'll find out if everyone will listen to all the parts. If I had 3 oil counters and I made a 3-1 horror, and let's assume that the horror stayed around. Let's assume it doesn't die at the end of the step. Let's assume it sticks around. It just stays. If it was created as a 3-1, and in 3 turns I now have 6 oil counters on my forge, it's still a 3-1. Because I think that if it was not, I think I just realized this, that when a value is changeable, they don't use X, they use the star. Where it says create a star 1 red Phyrexian horror token where star is equal to the number of oil counters. Nice. Sick. Very sick. Love this card. I cannot wait to run this in Constructed. I just can't wait. This is awesome. Vindictive Flamestoker. 1 mana, 1/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Vindictive Flamestoker. Sack it. Discard your hand. Draw 4 cards. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each oil counter on Vindictive Flamestoker. I just said no one's going to use oil in Constructed. All right. Fucking all right. This is a really stupid, ultra-powerful mono-red burn deck because you play your Flamestokers and you shoot them. And then you go, I have no cards. I'm going to sack this for 1. I'm going to draw cards. Keep shooting stuff. Oil will be 1. So, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is very fucking good. But it's also, there is a risk of, like, you play the Vindictive Flamestoker. Your opponent against mono-red defenders are, or let me rephrase this. If someone's mono-redding me, and there's lots of haste creatures stacking up damage, I'm casting spells to pick them off. Vindictive Flamestoker is easy. It is easy to be in a situation where you only deal 3 damage with this, and then it just gets blown up. I think that I would consider this very good in Constructed, but I can see limitations to it, where perhaps I'd be like, you know what? I just don't think I'm going to run this in my mono-red deck because there's other things that are more efficient. Now, that said, Fonswain says, but you only paid 1. The cost is not the issue. It is the card cost of it. It costs a whole card. And if a whole card does 2 damage and then that's it, when instead I could have played a haster that would have dealt 4 damage, that's the risk. This does seem like a good tool in, if I were doing big red, So yeah, Vindictive Flamestoker, this is the hill. This is the hill. In Constructed, this card in aggro lists is fucking terrible. Yeah? In mono red aggro, this is the worst card in the set. This, fuck you. You know that? Quote me on it. Fucking clip me on it. This is hot garbage in mono red aggro. The hottest. It's so hot, you don't even need any oil. You know what I mean? All right. Volt Charge. 2 in a red. Volt Charge deals 3 damage to any target. Proliferate. Great. Really great. Not a lot of Proliferate cards that I've seen. What guitar says I expect to see this card in deck you brew in 3 months. I'm going to put it in my deck on day 1, man. You kidding me? I'm going to do big red. I'm going to big red. Still have my Skitterbeam battalions going in. Hey, Vivictus. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Velrun, welcome to Seattle. Yep, this is good stuff. Volshock Splitter. 3 in red. For Mirrodin. 0. Oh, it's green jelly beans. So we have done 157 of the... There's going to be about 250 cards. So we have about 100 more to go. Let me just... And then, yeah, I see. Those are pretty cool. There's a lot of shit, man. All right. I quit my job. All right. I am actually going to take a proper break, stand up, walk around. I'm going to eat something with sugar in it because I'm starting to get a little sleepy. And when I return, we're going to do green, multicolored artifact and lance. We'll be back.